Last year, a single spot in the RPM long-term garage was occupied by two Peugeot 208s. We started with a 1.2 and were later upgraded to a 1.6. And now for the next 6 months, we've got our hands on a GTI. Topping the 208 range, the Pocket Rocket comes with a long heritage of impressive GTIs, so this turbo-powered version has some rather large French shoes to fill. Not to mention the competition it has to go up against, not least of all is the VW Polo GTI. As a starting point, the styling is a good one. We've always liked the look of the 208, which brings just a measure of style to its practical city runabout role. But now with two doors, some interesting LED bits and great wheels, the GTI adds real sportiness to the package. It is one of the better looking cars in its class, even without all the extra GTI specific bits. But with a performance treatment, this 208 is one that looks like it means business without looking cheesy or over the top for a second. All the details are well thought out, none of them would look out of place on a car higher up on the food chain. Inside you get a sporty setup that's also very comfortable. The spec list is decent too, although there are some things to get used to, like the infotainment system, that we've been practicing on previous Peugeots for about a year now and still haven't got quite right because it's not the most intuitive thing to use. Then there are some pieces of trim. What I'm talking about here is the faded red to black bits in the door handle and other places. It's an interesting idea and certainly a unique one. I'm just not sure I like it. The rest of the color treatment is top class though. Leather and cloth bucket seats, contrasting red stitching to match the red lighting elements. It all creates the right kind of atmosphere. There is a lot to like besides that though. Small grippy steering wheel and seats to match, a long list of standard features that includes dual zone climate control and Bluetooth, and an ergonomic setup that allows you to concentrate on the important business of driving this car like a GTI. Helping you achieve that goal is a 1.6-litre turbo with 147 kilowatts and 275 newton meters. There is a simple way to describe this engine. It is a cracker with good power and responsiveness for a 0 to 100 time of 6.8 seconds and a top speed of 230. One of the biggest factors contributing to the performance of the GTI is its waif-like weight. At just 1,100 kilograms, it's got a healthy power-to-weight ratio of 127 kilowatts per ton. And it really enjoys a harder-than-normal drive. Given the right mix of conditions, it becomes an involving little thing that delivers good performance. That's not just down to the engine, because Peugeot have also concentrated on some other important bits. The GTI is lower and has a wider track than regular 208s, and the suspension has also been beefed up. We've got some time to figure out if this car does justice to the GTI name, but it's already making a good impression. And that's with less than 2,000 kilometers on the clock. The thing about the 208 GTI is that it's just so willing, and it rewards you when you do take up the challenge. The steering is good, although it still has that slightly numb feel like all electric steering systems. The ride setup can take on most conditions, and that little engine is really worth its weight in gold. That makes it sound like we live our lives on a racetrack, which we don't, unfortunately. So we will have to figure out how this car lives with the daily commute, if it matches up to Peugeot's fuel consumption claims, and if the build quality holds out. And that's going to be an interesting point, because there's already a rattle that's sprung up in the back somewhere. We'll have to mention that to the dealership when it comes to service time. We have a suspicion that it's coming from an incorrectly mounted number plate holder, so it shouldn't be a difficult fix. All in all though, a solid first impression of a car that has a lot to live up to, both in terms of its family history and with regard to its competition. We've got a good few months to learn about this car inside and out, and we're hoping inside that time we'll finally figure out how the infotainment system works, and that there won't be too many punch-ups when it comes to deciding who gets it for the weekend. Of course, we'll bring you regular updates on life with the Peugeot 208 GTI. The 147 kilowatt 1.6 litre turbo makes the 208 GTI a gifted performer, helped by a low weight and tuned suspension. With 11 of the 12 months left to go on our long-term test, we're looking forward to discovering this car's talents, although there's already a worrying rattle that has to be seen to.